Ready to get going now. Sorry about all of that. Just had to share that out to Facebook. All right, so I got a couple questions coming in already. No, William, I'm not in my studio right now because I'm having it re-insulated and some other work done on it. So yeah. So Sandra has a question on wholesale, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Getting started right now, Greg. So I'm just going to go ahead and share the screen. I think Valerie's back there with us somewhere, but so wholesale, everybody's here. We're all here to talk about wholesale tonight. There's Valerie back again. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with wholesale, let's say. So, the title of the topic tonight was, "Are you ready to get unlimited wholesale sources?" And that's what I've done. I've really, I've really hated, doing wholesale for a long time. Retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, of course, is great, but as more brands get gated and more, problems arise, I always knew that, I wanted to expand, and I really didn't want, and I know you guys don't want to get stuck, and a lot of people are feeling like, they're getting stuck if they're doing RA and OA or, whatever it is you're doing, with brands being gated and everything else. And even when we did wholesale, truthfully, it was always just, it was a nightmare for me personally, because anybody who's done wholesale, you've had the same problems. And I already got a couple messages from people saying, well, I've contacted wholesalers and they don't respond to me, or, contacting brands or distributors. And, people don't seem to understand the difference between a brand and what you call a wholesaler, which is usually what's called a distributor. And those are the kind of people who are bringing lots of brands into their own business and then only reselling to retailers, which is what we are. We're the people who are selling to the end public, the end user, the public. If you're selling on Amazon or eBay, it really doesn't matter, because what we're going to be doing is looking at finding ways, and I've made a way that that kind of eliminates all these problems and puts it together in a way that's super easy. So I'm just going to take you through how we do that. As I was saying, at first I just wanted to find one company to source good items from. You see all these people. I only source wholesale. I make six figures. I'm selling $1 million a year. Whatever it is. But I really couldn't get that. When I was first starting selling. So I knew that there was always a better way. There has to be a better way to do it. So I thought, if I find 4 good wholesale companies to profit $500 a week, and selling on Amazon, selling $500 a week isn't, very hard, especially if I could get some kind of exclusive deal with them, which is, so $500 a week is $2,000 a month. That's obviously a typo. $500 a week from each one is $2,000 a week. So like $8,300 a month. That's $100,000. Just finding 4 companies to do $500 in sales with, you get to your 6 figures. It seems very, very easy in theory, but as we've all seen, trying to open accounts with these distributors who don't want to sell, who only want to sell to people with storefronts, they don't want to sell to you as an Amazon seller. There's all these kinds of problems. And so my goal was, if you sell wholesale, or if you want to sell wholesale, I had the same problem. So I found a solution for myself, and it was really so amazing that I you know, I decided to share it with everyone else. And I've had some beta testers. I've actually been doing this for about a year now. I've been an Amazon seller coach since 2012, wholesale expert and coach. You know, I've done lots of stuff, sold lots of stuff. I think everybody knows, you know, who I am, and I'm not going to go through all that. But, you know, reverse wholesale sourcing is what I learned. Now, I didn't come up with the idea. And you know, there's obviously lots of people doing it, but you know, I put something together where it's really the, you know, the best thing out there. You know, and I don't like to make things that other people are already going to be doing. If I do something, you know, nobody else is doing what I'm doing, and I've never done things that, you know, if somebody else has a good tool, I'd rather buy their tool, but nobody, you know, could seem to get it right. So, you know, I've spent the last year figuring it out, and it all started with this reverse wholesale sourcing. And you can do all this, you know, if you like what I share with you or you don't, reverse wholesale sourcing is going to work for you either way. You know, the normal way that everybody seems to want to start to buy wholesale is you go to a trade show, or you go out and you find a lot of companies somehow, if it's either a trade show or whatever other way, to open up accounts, and then you get a list of what they're selling. Hopefully it's a digital list that you can, you know, run through Tactical Arbitrage or OA X-Ray or, you know, any of those other tools, Scan Power, Price Checker 2. You know, there's a ton of tools that you can use to compare those products to Amazon if you have the UPCs, or even if you have titles. And, you know, if you're lucky, you get thousands of items to start with, and you're lucky if you can find one or two. And for us, most of the time, we didn't find anything. You know, so we did find some products here and there, but, you know, there always had to be a better way. And then I learned about reverse wholesale sourcing. So what this is instead of going to find the product, you know, find the products first and then see if maybe they're listed on Amazon. And if they're listed on Amazon, well, you know, maybe then they're actually going to have something that's actually selling, you know, because I don't want to buy things that are, you know, ranked in the millions. So what I did was, I'm sorry, can you still see the screen, Valerie, or?
I can see the screen, but I see like your join Zoom, so I don't see the PowerPoint.
Right. Okay. So I don't know how that happened, but so with reverse wholesale sourcing, what we've done is we've taken that whole idea and flipped it on its head. Now, this isn't my, you know, I didn't come up with this, but, you know, it's an amazing way of sourcing, you know, and after doing it for a couple of years, you know, and discovering this, I don't understand why anybody else would want to go and get product lists and set up accounts and spend all that time. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna have to.
Okay. I almost seen it
Okay.
then.
All right, so you should see the Amazon page now.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. So what we did was we started doing this reverse wholesale sourcing, which is where we start with, let's close that. We start with products that are already selling, okay? And then we find the manufacturers where we can go and source right from the manufacturers. We don't waste our time with distributors. We don't waste our time with anything but contacting the manufacturers and setting up an account with them. If they don't like, you know, if they don't want to give us an account, then we move on. Now, what I did, just as an example, is I went to I'm on my own Amazon homepage, and I did this right before the webinar. And I went through and I looked at the recommendations for me in pet supplies. So we have 4 ferrets. So, you know, we buy a lot of stuff for them, obviously. So I looked at this. I said, well, you know, this could be a private label product. This could be a private label product. But I know this brand. This brand breeds ferrets. This company makes tons of stuff for ferrets. You know, cages, stuff for the cages, treats, food. So I looked at this, and you know, so this is the same for any product you're going to look at. If you want to look at you know, any brand, any product, you know, we're going to find the manufacturer. So it doesn't matter what the rank is or any of that information, category, it's all going to work the same way. We're just going to go look for the manufacturer by either looking at the picture, or we can look at the brand. Sometimes it's not correct, but usually this is the brand name here. So all I did was I went over to Google and I searched for Marshall pet products. So I know there's some other Marshall brands, so I didn't want to bring those up. So I just put in Marshall pet products, and they don't sell just stuff for ferrets. They sell stuff for all kinds of animals. So I just typed that in, and it came up with the second listing after the first ad was Marshall Pet. So we wanted to make sure it wasn't, you know, someone selling the products like we see, you know, ferret.com here, news reports, you know, an ad from Chewy, which is a mail order company. But the very first listing that wasn't an ad was for Marshall Pet products. So when we click on that, we come to their main page, and this will be the same for any company. Any company you look at, they're going to have at least an About Us section, which is right here. But Marshall happens to have a couple of other things. So you can go to About Us, or there's going to be a Contact Us page. So I went to About Us, and then there's a Contact Us page. And if there's no place to become a retailer, and they actually do have a place to become a retailer right here under Where to Buy, it'll show you the local stores, get listed, online retailers, and become a retailer. So there's a list of online retailers. That means they're probably going to allow people who sell online. And then the next option is become a retailer. So you can click on that, and you just put your information in if you're a brick and mortar or an online store. And as a bonus, it shows under there all the different products that they sell. So this is showing you all the brands that they actually own. So it's not just Marshall, it's also Goodbye Odor, Earth Balance, and Peters. They're all pet supply companies. So when you set up an account with just one of them, you're going to be able to sell all those product lines. And it's not just one product, it's going to be everything all of those companies sell. So you just fill out this information, and you're going to get, you'll be able to set up an account with them. It has your personal contact information, your business information, and even if this wasn't here, you would still be able to, you'll still be able to go to the Contact Us information. So if we go to About Us, it has their information. And then under that, it's telling you about their business, but under that, there's a Contact Us page. So when you click on that, it goes right here, and you can put your information in and a message. Now, you know, I have requested to set up accounts with companies, and they haven't responded, or they've told me they're not accepting applications, or whatever it is at the time. But when I fill out these forms, I almost always get a response 100% of the time. And because this is contacting their customer service. This has nothing to do with a wholesale account. So what I do is I put in my information, and in the message, I tell them that whatever zip code I'm located in, and I say that I'm a retailer and I'm looking to set up a wholesale account. So for example, I would say, I already gave them my information, so I don't need to tell them my name. I say, you know, I'm in Tampa, so I say I'm located in Tampa, Florida. The zip code is 33596, and I'm looking for a local distributor, or your wholesale information to set up a wholesale account to sell your products. And that's all you need to do, because the person you speak to here is just the regular customer service. They're not the company that's going to, they're not the people at the company that's going to be deciding whether or not you can set up an account or not. So that's all the information you need to do. They'll forward that on, and then those people will contact you, or they'll give you an email address. Usually they give me an email address and or a phone number, and that's one of the first ways that we make first contact. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Socheet asked if I could share some ideas in writing the right email request for your wholesale account. So I've actually created a couple of templates. I hired a company through my friends at FreeUp, who actually has over $1 million business, and he's worked both with wholesalers and retailers that deal with the companies that do wholesale. So he's very experienced with it, and he's made multiple templates for us. So if you go to our Facebook group, and we'll Valerie can post the link in the chat, but it's called Sourcing Secret. So if you just type in Sourcing Secret and join our Facebook group, we have in the files not only templates for setting up wholesale accounts, multiple ones for multiple different reasons. We also have scripts that we've built for cold calling these companies. So it has what you say and what responses they're going to give, and then what you would say in response to that. So pretty much all the bases are covered as far as that. If that's your only, the only thing barring you from trying to set up wholesale accounts, if you subscribe to anything from us or not, it's open to everybody, and there's tons of good information in there, videos and files. So. And we'll get to the other questions later. So going back, so I hope that's helped you a little. So what we've done is I've taken that whole process, and as you can see, it's a rather long, drawn out process. Some of the first things is that it's not always that easy. I mean, that was the first thing that I clicked on, and I found it. But sometimes they don't have that information on the website. Sometimes they have a phone number. We have to Google phone numbers. But what we've done is we've taken and automated this whole process. So the difference between doing this and doing something like contacting the way that you've done it in the past. Is you're just not randomly choosing companies with hopes of good selling items. That's what I've done. That's what I see people complaining about in dozens of Facebook groups every day. They're randomly choosing companies. They're setting up accounts, hoping that you have good selling items. And so what we've done is I've created a software tool called Sourcing Secret. I've worked on it for over a year, and with it, you're no longer choosing companies with hopes of good selling items. We're finding the companies first, the best selling products on Amazon. So think of it like this. If you could find something to get all the best selling products on Amazon, and then to start with, and then go back and get all the contact information for them, we show you all that. You're looking at the top selling stores on Amazon and the items you sell. We get you the contact information for the brands, phone numbers, emails, CEO contact information if we can, all the places to contact in the right order. So you literally only have to look at what you want to find, and we give you the brand's contact information, and then you can just shoot off an email. You can shoot off hundreds of emails a day if you wanted to set up accounts. So after doing this for years, attending trade shows, I spent so much time last year, going to conferences and trade shows and just trying to find the right products, and it just didn't work. I don't want to spend the money to travel. I don't want to be away from my family. You know, I want to spend time with my family. I want to sell stuff, and, you know, I want to make money and have freedom. And, you know, that's what I started this business for. Most of you guys that I talk to, you know, that's what you want to do too. You don't want to travel all over the place just looking for a brand that maybe you can set up an account with, then maybe you can actually buy something from them worth selling on Amazon. The biggest problem is that, you know, the stuff isn't just worth selling on Amazon. Even when you do find those, there's just nothing worth selling. So I got tired of wasting time weeding through all the products and hoping to find one, you know, and maybe find a few to sell, but never meeting the goals, never being worth the time of the trip. So, you know, I did it the hard way, attending trade shows, you know, Google the niche, set up a wholesale account, hope and pray that they have a digital list to search. And if I can do all that, and get lucky if they have something worth buying. So, do you want the easy way we discovered to turn the whole process on its head? In the past few years, I've found few companies to source good products from, and I didn't have a top seller list. So the 3 secrets I'm going to show you today is automating the task of finding products to source, find top selling products and brands, and open an account. Now I know that's a lot, you know, that's some big promises, right? Automating the task of finding products to source. I mean, some of you have been working years on it. I've talked to you. You know, I know it's happening. You know, you finding top selling products. So, you know, when I say finding good selling product, you know, top selling products, it's not just good products. It's, you know, finding the best products in every single category that we source. 23 categories just in the U.S. and lots more in other countries. We find the absolute best products for you. It's all automated, and then you can see exactly the products that these companies are selling before you ever even bother to contact them. And you can see every single product, like the #1 product on Amazon in every category, or the #1,000. It doesn't matter. You know, it's all there in order. And then all you have to do is click on the button and copy an email and send that template that we're already going to give you. If you sign up or not, we're still going to give you the template, you know, that you can start setting up wholesale accounts today if you want. So #1, automate the task of finding products to source. It's so easy. It's funny. With Sourcing Secret, you learn reverse wholesale sourcing to automate your process and source only products that are selling well. There's no longer, you know, running those lists against tactical arbitrage, you know, to hopefully find products that that are selling well. You're going to know if the products are selling well before you ever bother to contact them. Finding the top selling products and brands. With Sourcing Secret, you can now, we just expanded it. You can view the top selling 100,000 or 500,000 products in every category or subcategory. And I say every category, it's every single category in the top. We found every category that we do arbitrage in. So it's 23 different categories in the US. You can see the top 100,000 or the top 500,000 products, and it's updated every single day, as well as subcategories. So subcategories, we just expanded to 10,000. It was 5,000. Now you can look at every subcategory, subcategories. I've seen some of them go 7, 8, 9 subcategories deep. So you can download those lists of the top products. You can research them. You can also run them through tactical arbitrage. So if you're doing retail arbitrage, even online or retail arbitrage, you know, you can find what stores have those products. You know, it's even better if you're doing retail, because those people who are doing online don't want to bother going to the stores. So all that stuff that's sold out, you can find too. So you can download all those lists every day. You can even subscribe and we'll email them to you. Download the top products. You can also extract the brand information out of every one of those 23 categories. And we count the brands. So what we mean by count the brands, we count up, and until I did this, I've never heard of anybody even thinking about this, is we count how many products are in the top 100,000 in every one of these categories. So you can see that Lego has something like 1,600 brands, 1,600 items in the top 100,000 in toys. Nobody knew that until there's no other way to get this information. You can't go, you know, and search because it's going to show you products that don't even have a rank and products that are, you know, not in that category. So we've gotten all that exact information and we have it for you. You can even download a list of every product with all the information, even if Amazon competes with them, for any brand. Number 3, you open an account. You have all the information. You do the research before you waste all that time, you know, filling out forms. Everybody has an application you got to fill out and fax or email or scan. So we're finding the profitable items. We research the brands, and then you contact the brands after you know that you already want them. So you guys ready to see how it actually works? All right, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to actually show you all that. Everything's just catching up. Yeah, lots of questions on replays.
And Guillermo, yes, there will be a replay.
Yeah, we will email, as we said before, we'll email the replay to everybody. Probably be sent out by the morning. And John said, had the same experience going to China, ASD, countless other shows. At the end of the day, not much is stuck, right? Yeah, so we've found a solution for that, definitely. So, all right, guys, so this is Sourcing Secret. Hopefully you can see that. All right, so there's a few facets to Sourcing Secret. The main one I'm going to show you is the product research. So we've actually, as you can see, all the new buttons, we've actually expanded to all these countries. So we now support 12 different countries for the product research. So you can actually download the categories for any country. I'll just use Japan because it's not actually an English alphabet. You can select any category, and this works for all the countries. It shows you the category and the translation. So you know, some have a lot more than others. Brazil, for example, really only has a couple of categories: home, kitchen, electronics. They're mostly all books and digital products. We've removed all the digital products, all the stuff that you can't really sell in, you know, Alexa skills, stuff like that. And every country we've translated, you know, what it is. So see, Spain is in Spanish, and then we put in parentheses English translation. So you can download the top 100,000 or top 500,000 products in any of those categories. We'll expand it to subcategories as well if we get any, really any interest. We don't really have it, you know, we have a very small amount of users, so we don't really have people who are using any of these yet. So as we bring on users for that, we'll put more interest in getting subcategories. But for now, these are all the 23 categories in the US. I'm going to use business and industrial because that is really the most popular one that we've gotten. And you can select any subcategory. So at this point, you could download the top 100,000 or the top 500,000 products updated every day. When we click the download button, it'll take you to a new page. It does take a moment to load, but what we've done is we've taken the top 100,000 and split it up into 4 25,000 lines because scan power, tactical arbitrage, OA X-ray, you know, and a few other ones have a limit of 25,000 lines at a time. So instead of having to go in there, split those files up every day or whenever you run a scan, then we put this all together into into split file. So you literally only have to download this and then upload it into Tactical Arbitrage or whatever you're using. But if you want a single file, you can also just click on it and download it. It downloads it immediately. As you can see, it's already downloaded. There's not a big delay like a lot of the other tools where it's going on and getting that information. We're using the APIs from multiple sites, so you can just get that information very fast. So you just click on it, it downloads it, and it's done. Same thing with, this is the top 500,000. You get the top 500,000 now. We just added this in any of the categories. So these two are essentially the same, but you can also subscribe. So if you hit the subscribe button, it's going to add it to your user settings, and then you're going to get these files attached to an email sent to you every single day until you turn it off. And most of the features in the software has that as well. So you can subscribe and you never have to get that. We also have an option where you can add a secondary email. So when you add that secondary email, what it's going to do is if you have a VA or a partner or whatever it is, anything that gets sent to you as far as the subscriptions, you can also send one to them. You can also turn it off for yourself so you're not getting the subscriptions. So, a lot of people were using it with their VAs and subscribing to stuff, and then, it turned into a big mess. So we just added that so you can just send those files to your VA. So that's just the first thing you can do. Now, if you want to look at subcategories, you can just select your category like we did, but instead of downloading, you can come down here, and this is every subcategory under industrial and scientific. So if you hit the plus sign, it's going to show you all the subcategories that are under that. And at any time, you can just click on and download. So you can click on this and download the main subcategory, but you can go as deep as you want and get, the subcategory under that, the subcategory, subcategory, and it'll go, just as deep as they are. So as you can see, these are going already 4 or 5 subcategories deep, and it'll download up to the top 10,000 items in that subcategory. If not, it'll download almost every product in there. And these are a list of just the ASINs, so you can use that to compare to other, compare it with the TA Wholesale or OA X-Ray or, Scan Power, any of those tools. You can upload them and then compare them to Amazon. OA X-Ray, Tactical Arbitrage, obviously you can do a reverse search and look for places to buy those products, at retail. Now we do have a new option that's called Request Complete Data. So when you do that, it's not just downloading the ASIN. So I'll open up one of these and show you what it looks like. So when you download, normally you can download a list of just the ASINs. So this is what it is, but you can use the Request Complete Information button now, which we just added in the last week, and that's going to give you some full information. And it's information that a lot of the other tools are not even able to supply you right now. So what you get is the ASIN, the brand name, obviously. With us, that's one of the most important things. The title, the UPC, if it's available. Obviously, we know a lot of items don't have a UPC. And then the price. So the price is a buy box price. So you'll see that there are some blank ones. These are literally the top 25,000 products in grocery as of when I downloaded this earlier today. So some of them don't have a buy box price. I can tell you these top couple were sold out already when I went back to look at them, so that's why they didn't have a price in there. And then obviously the rank, and this is one of the most important things. If Amazon's currently competing on this product, and if Amazon has ever historically competed on it. So this is showing you, without even going to the listing, if Amazon is a seller on this product. And even if they're not, without going to Keeper or somewhere else, you're going to be able to know if Amazon has ever sold on that in the past. So, you know, this was a huge feature that that we added, and I mean, ridiculously beneficial to us, and I assume, you know, most other people as well. And then you get the Amazon link, and even if, you know, it's sold out and they've suppressed the listing, this link is going to show it, as well as the Keepa link if you need to do any research there. Hey, Ron. As far as Australia, I know Alex has been really trying to get Australia added, and so are we. You know, the issue is kind of, there's not much data in Australia yet. So, you know, there's no top 100,000, because most categories don't have 100,000 products, obviously. It was just launched. So, you know, we're going to get it. I mean, I would say we're going to have it this year, definitely. But we just need enough data to work with. You know, obviously, if there's only a couple thousand products in there, it's not helpful to us, and probably not to you as well. So as soon as we can get it, you know, as soon as we can. Obviously, we already have 12 different countries in there. Adding another one isn't a super big deal, but we definitely, you know, need enough data to, you know, compile and to work with. So we'll get that as soon as we can. All right, so when you request complete data, it does take a little bit longer. It can take up to an hour to get all that information. Obviously, we're pulling data from 100,000 individual products. So, you know, it does take some time. We've seen it's taken up to an hour to get that information, but when you request it, you'll see this message that it's being created, and it'll be sent to your email, the same as when you subscribe. So yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg, though. I mean, that, you know, that's an awesome product to begin with, but when we took it to the next level and when we started doing beta testing, we said, well, if we can already pull the information in on all these products, then why can't we then go ahead and pull the information in on the brands? So what we've done, I mean, you know, it speaks for itself what we've done, because we've not only just taken the brands, but we went back in and looked at those top 100,000 products, and we counted how many each brand had. So you can see the small parts is not an actual brand. It's like uncategorized. You'll see them in for everyone, but brands like UXL, this is, you know, a battery company. Brady, you can see this number for basically every brand that's in the top 100,000 in every category. So if we go back and we look at, let's say toys, everyone likes toys, right? So if we look at toys and then look at the brands, we're going to see that Funko is the most prolific brand in the toy category now. So they have 1,845 different products in toys. So the average rank is 51,000. The average price is $9.10. So, and then if you want to get the contact info on Funko, and I know they do sell to resellers, you can just go in here and it has, you know, emails, it has their address. You can even download the info. They'll download that as a CSV for whatever brand you're looking at. And that works with any brand that's in here. Now, I don't want people to get the impression that we have contact information for every brand on Amazon. Obviously, that's not the case, contrary to what some people may have thought, but we add hundreds of new brands every day, and currently we have contact information on 6,887 brands. By tomorrow, that number will be over 7,000. I'm really assuming. We can see that Lego has 471 different different products in there, and we can see, we can look at this however far deep we want to go. So just in the toy category, we know there's 1,683 different brands, and as I said before, you can now do research on all of these brands ahead of time. So if we wanted to see let's just look at Funko. So for example, if we want to see everything that Funko has in the top 100,000 in the toy category, we can just select that one brand, or you can select multiple brands and hit download, and you're going to get, and it's an immediate download. It's already downloaded. It takes longer to open the file than to download it. We're going to see everything from Funko in the top 100,000 now. There's no other way, to get that data. You can't search for Funko and get, just the products that are, that are good sellers. Prices, if there's a buy box price, obviously there's a ton of great sellers in Funko that has a buy box suppressed because the prices are so high. Ranks, as you can see here, there's some that are over 100,000, because what we do is we log, just like Tactical Arbitrage does, we've created a local database where we log everything that has hit the top 100,000 in the past, and we continue to log those, because if they were in the top 100,000, they're going to be again. We can also see, as we showed in the extended data, if Amazon's currently a seller or if they have ever been in the past. I would say that the history one is a lot more important to me than even if they're currently, because I can go to a listing and see if they're a seller, but if they've been selling it in the past, they may sell it again. Funko is a little bit different because they're so limited on their sales, so they may just stop selling something, never sell it again. You download, yeah, John. John asked if you could sort by any column. This is a CSV file. You're downloading everything as a CSV. So you could upload this list into Tactical Arbitrage, for example, and do a reverse search to try and find all these products. Now, every hot selling Funko item in the top 100,000 or has recently been in the top 100,000, and you can upload that into the reverse search and find other stores to buy it from. We sort this one by, I actually don't remember because we changed the sorting of stuff. I believe it's just sorted by the ASIN on this one. It's not sorted by rank. Some of the ones that, like the top 100,000, those are sorted by rank. But yes, this is a CSV file. You can open it in, Google Drive or Excel, which is what I'm using, and then just sort it however you want.
I don't know if you want to tackle this real quick, but John had another really good question, kind of to go on top of that.
Okay, is that in the Q&A?
No, it's in the chat, so it doesn't get lost.
Yeah, I probably missed it. Oh, okay. I see it, the last message.
Yeah.
Okay, my main issue doing wholesale is what's left after Amazon fees. Our net income is about 5% or less with wholesale. What's your experience? So that's, a super interesting question. I wouldn't buy anything that was 5%. So, with online arbitrage, I try to get, around the 40, 50% range. But, with wholesale, that's not true a lot of the times. But what we found is, we kind of flipped the whole idea around of doing wholesale. So we're looking for products that are already selling. So when I talk about my sweet spot, I'm actually not looking at the top selling products. Like if you already want to sell the top selling products, they're there. But what I like to do is I like to, if you see this minimum and max, we could look at, this is the products, and I should label this a little better, but let's say if we put in from 10 to 30, this narrows it down to the listings that only have 10 to 30 products in the top 100,000. So, if something had 1 or 2 or maybe even 5, that could be you know, very well a private label product. But if we were to take and say, oh, well, what has 20 products that are, you know, 20 to 30 products, you know, and we can see these aren't private label products, you know, the Stefan Baby I've heard of, obviously Voltron, Num Noms, that probably isn't even in the right category. But what we've done is, you know, if we set up accounts with these companies, and obviously the users of Sourcing Secret we've talked to have done the same thing, and what they've been able to do is then get exclusives with those companies. And most of these products that only have a handful, you know, they may have hundreds of products that they've created. So you can set up an account, you open an account, and then you already have a product. If there's 30 products, 20 products, 10 products in the top 100,000, people are searching for those. Those are products that people want. So people are already searching for them. So if you bring the rest of that product line to Amazon that's not even listed there yet, then you're going to be able to have a lot more products that people are already searching for. So they're going to search for them. They're going to find your products. You know, you possibly can negotiate an exclusive deal or whatever you're already trying to do with wholesalers. You're going to be able to do that as well. You know, it's been my, you know, it's been my experience so far that you can bring a whole lot of more products that people are already looking for. You're not creating a new product, bringing a new brand to Amazon, which is what a lot of people are doing. And then it's like creating a private label product. You have to, you know, create a want, create a need, start, you know, doing Facebook ads and Google ads and, you know, PPC ads on Amazon. But these are products that, remember, these aren't products that you're bringing in. These are products that are, these are brands that are already selling well that you can now bring more of into the marketplace. So, you know, I wouldn't ever sell anything and make 5%, you know, unless it was, you know, oh, you have to buy $10,000, $5,000 worth just to open an account with us. So, you know, that's what, you know, that's what our experience has been. So I would get away from those 5% products as fast as you can. Obviously, with the software, you have access to unlimited content information. You know, some of our people have hired VAs full time, and that's all they do is go through here, open accounts, and you know, do the research. They open the accounts, and then you know, start buying until they find something better and better, and then bring these product lines in. You know, it's worked very well. So now, and I'm sorry, John may have been asking about the sorting on here as well, but yes, you can sort by anything here. You can sort by the average rank, which was like each one of these columns that we've added is amazing. Now, as you've seen, we have about 6,800 products, and here's how we add more. It's all user driven. So we're able to add hundreds of new products. I have a whole team of people who get the contact information. That's all they do. Sometimes we have to make phone calls. Sometimes, you know, we're sending emails to, you know, try and get that information for you. Everything we showed you earlier, we're doing for you. Sorry, Jerry. Yeah, the minimum and maximum is the amount of products that they have on the top 100,000. So I was just using 10 and 30 as an example. You know, you might want to go from 20 to 50 or whatever it is, but you know, this is a good way that I've found to source new brands. So what we've done is, I'm gonna go ahead and clear this out now. So now if you find a brand that you don't see, I'm looking by lowest first, obviously, most of these aren't filled in. So I'm just gonna resort that by rank. You can sort by average info, the amount of products, the brand, any of that information. So if you see a check mark, that means that we've already gotten the contact information for you, which means somebody has requested it in the past. So you can click on it, it'll pop up there. We get as much information as we can. You know, the smaller the company, the more contact information we seem to be able to get. You know, if there's somebody in charge of opening wholesale accounts, we'll try and get that information. If not, it's blank. You know, other cases, we'll try and get the CEO's contact information. So that way, you know, if you're trying to get an exclusive or something like that, we have that information as well. You can just hit download info. It downloads it as a CSV immediately. And then you can send those on to your VA or however you're going to do that. You can just save those for later. Now, if you see one that has a question mark, that means that that we don't have their contact information yet. So all you have to do is hit the question mark, and you're gonna get this pop up, and it's going to add it to your queue. Now you get up to you get 20 requests at a time. So that's not a day or a month. It usually takes us about 24 hours to fill each request. Some a little more, some a lot less. So what we do is, as soon as that is filled, that spot opens up for you again. So you request 20 of them on the first day. As soon as one gets filled, you can request another one. And what happens is, it's obviously going to add it to the database, but it's also going to send it to your registered email. So as soon as we hit the save button to add that information, it automatically dispatches an email to you with all the contact information, everything that you've seen there. So you're able to set up your account, and you don't have to go back in, write down the ones you requested, and get information again. Valerie, can you post the link to the Sourcing Secret group? So, okay, awesome. There it is. There it is. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your name, but right. So that's all in there. All kinds of stuff on wholesale and what we do. So as soon as that's filled out, you get a new request, and you can come in here, hit the question mark. And if you need more, you know, if 20 is not enough, we just did that so, you know, somebody wouldn't go in and request like 1,000 of them, because it's a queue. So, you know, if you add 5 and then someone else adds 1, and, you know, we go in order. So, you know, I didn't want somebody to be able to request like 1,000 of them, and then it would be, you know, days or something before anybody else could do it. So that's the only reason that we've done that. So if you need more, if you have a whole team that, you know, you're doing whatever with, that, you know, you need to request more than that, it's fine. We have almost 7,000 entries in the database now. So, you know, that's not an issue. Now, if you want to see the same information, you can under companies. So this has the same information. You can also select what category you want right from here. So this is the amount that's in, you can see how many have been in each category. Industrial and scientific has been going crazy since almost the first day. We have the most here, 3,200. You can see some like collectibles and fine art, musical instruments has 15. Office products only has 49. It's based on what you request. So our users are requesting these. We fill them as we get requests, and you know, and that's it. So whatever you need, you just request it, and then we'll add it. Now, I'm going to hit industrial and scientific because that's the most, but you can select any category. You can switch between them, and what happens here is these are only the requests that have been filled. Now, obviously, there's a lot of information here, so it does take a minute or two to load, and it's done. But these are going to be all the ones that are filled. So you can't look at the products, you can't do the research, and you can't go in and request anything. But this is going to give you the same data, and it's all on one page. So you see the brand, the category, how many products, and their phone number. You know, if you want your VA to come in here, or you want to, you know, just request, you want to set up a lot of accounts in grocery or, you know, BISS industrial, then you can just go here. It has the phone numbers on the screen, or you can just hit the view button, and it's gonna, the information will pop up there. You can also download it, same as you did in the other page. You know, so we just kind of added this new screen just to make things a little bit easier. And then the last section is the storefront. So this is when you want to, look at other people's storefronts, spy on them. I know there's, a lot of tools out there for downloading what's in in other people's storefronts. I'm of the belief that mine is the best. It's the best, it's the fastest, it gives you the most information. I know there's a lot of other tools there, there's web-based ones and all that. So the first thing we've done is you can hit the download, you can select any of these. These are the only ones that have the storefronts. There's not as many as, I believe there's 9 here. There's no China, there's no Brazil. I don't remember exactly which ones, but let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So China and Brazil are missing. China only does digital. Brazil only does digital, and China does digital and books. Brazil only does digital and books, and they've just started doing a couple others like home, and I think there's a garden one now. So they're just starting to come out of just that digital and book category. So there's not a lot of data. Seller stores don't really work there. So we have 10 here, and there's 12 when you're actually researching products. So you can select any of these and immediately download the top 100,000 sellers with their store ID and a link. So you can just research them and it's based on the seller feedback. So you can just hit download here. I'm just doing the US. Super fast, only takes a few seconds, and it's here. You can click on it and download it. It downloads immediately. You can also hit the subscribe button. And if you hit subscribe here, it's going to add it to your list of subscriptions, and you'll get this email to you every single day until you turn it off as well. And you can do that for any of the countries. If you already have a seller ID, you can just put it right in here. If you go to anybody's seller store, it has merchant ID, something equals whatever. You just paste that code in here, and it'll immediately let you download their the contents of their seller store. Up to 100,000 products. There's not a lot. It's the top, however many stores has the top 100,000. So. So if we turn this off, we can go, we can hit the storefront button. And I'll be the first to admit this is probably the slowest thing to load. What we've done is, obviously it was hard to put 100,000 stores into basically one web page. So we split it up into 10 pages. So that's what you see up here, 1 to 10,000, all the way up to 90 to 100,000. So we're looking at the top 10,000 products, top 10,000 seller stores based on the seller feedback. So number 1 is import CDs, and it always is, and you see Better World Books, which has like 7 stores on Amazon now. A lot of these top ones are bookstores, thrift books, that has 100,000 products in there, all merchant fulfilled books. We're also just able to add if they're an FBA seller or not, which is, pretty huge. And you can subscribe to any of these. So if you want this list sent to you every day, you can hit subscribe and get them. So I'm just going to change this from 10 to 100. And we can see these are the top stores. This will show you the top 100 on this page, but you can go all the way down to 10,000, go to the next page, go all the way to the, look through the top 100,000. So we're only able to get the top 100,000 stores, but the top 100, we have the top 100,000 stores, and we can get the top 100,000 products on each store. So if you want to look at what I say is one of the best ways to do this is if we were to, if you're selling products from, if you're in an area that has a Mayo, greatest store for arbitrage there is, or, if it's Walmart or Target or, Best Buy, whatever the store is, and on all your listings, you see the same guy competing with you. So if you see this guy competing with you constantly, he's probably sourcing from the same place you are, right? So you go to his store, you copy the link, and then you can download a list of everything he has and do a reverse search in tactical arbitrage and find all the products that, hopefully find products you can arbitrage from him. That's just one example. But you can look at the top stores, run them through TA or OAX rate or whatever you're using and see all the products that they're selling. You know, I know you've seen a lot of other ones that were a little bit, you know, some are slower than others. Some take, you know, 5-6 minutes. And you can just download. The download is immediate. It only takes seconds, no matter which one you choose. I'm just going to go up here and show you one that has 100,000 import CDs. It's the #1 seller. You hit the download button, and it's already downloaded, as you can see here, and we can open that list at any time. So they're all just as fast. They download in seconds, and that's all there is. And of course, you can subscribe to it as well. And that is the general gist of it. Let me just go back over here. I think I lost Valerie. Did run long answering questions, but so disposable income. Do you have the time and money to spend traveling to trade shows to maybe finding a winning product? I know there's been a lot of comments about how much time they've wasted. I know I wasted a ton of time last year trying to go to those same places. And, you know, in the end, it's just not worth it. You know, time away from your family, time you could be on vacation, time to, you know, time and money for hotels and all that other stuff. It just wasn't worth it to me. So I would hope you would agree that it's been an hour well spent. I couldn't cover everything in an hour, obviously, and I do offer free calls. We'll give you the link if you want a free private demo to answer any of your questions. We literally, when you join the Facebook group, you'll see that we add new features like every couple days. So if you act fast, I'm going to give you a very special deal. Obviously, I'm trying to grow our database. We have almost 7,000 stores right now. So, you know, we're trying to grow that. We're trying to grow our user base, obviously. You know, we promote this very rarely. I may do, you know, I may talk about this maybe once a month, you know, just because I'm spending all my time and effort and money into growing this tool. Obviously, it's I'm going to say it's the best thing out there for doing wholesale. I mean, I think it's one of the best tools there is for Amazon right now. So, you know, I know there's a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of stuff you guys do, a lot of stuff I do, and we've really taken this and, you know, taken the whole idea of, you know, wholesale sourcing and really made this an amazing product. So we've had new sellers who want to get into wholesale who've never done it. Using Sourcing Secret, and it's worked amazingly. Wholesalers who are looking to find a better way to streamline their process, I'm sure there's plenty of those. And anyone who wants to ramp up your sourcing to make serious money. Obviously, you can make so much money with just a little bit of effort with this tool, and stop wasting time, you know, hiring VAs, doing the work yourself. So I had just two choices: go to as many trade shows as possible, calling as many businesses as possible, and it never incentivized me that, you know, I was onto something. You know, I didn't feel like I was ever onto something, meeting people at trade shows, setting up accounts, you know, as many times as we called or did anything else. It never seemed to turn into anything that I felt was worthwhile. The second option was to reverse the process, starting with successful products, finding the source, and in exchange devoting my time to already successful products to guarantee my success. So if all this did was save you time of sourcing blind, would it be worth it? Save you money on travel and trade show fees? I mean, I spent tens of thousands of dollars last year, you know, traveling, going to conferences, trade shows, Vegas, you know, all that. You know, would it be worth it? And grant you the opportunity to open accounts with proven selling companies and their products. You know, this is the only tool that I know of that is finding companies that are already selling well, selling amazingly well on Amazon, and letting you open accounts with them. Because, you know, in the past, you you didn't have all that data, we would have to open accounts and just blindly hope that there was something there to sell. So normally the price is $1,997 a year, but so until Friday night, we're offering it for $997 a year. You can also get it by the month, but the cost for a few months is the same you're going to pay for a whole year. So you can do nothing and not take this leap of faith or pony up the small investment compared to all the value you're getting in return and put your sourcing into overdrive. If you spend any time trying to sell wholesale on Amazon, I'm sure you've already wasted over $1,000 worth of time, of your personal time, to, opening up accounts with companies that just never panned out. So yeah, that's it. I know there's a lot of questions in the Q&A. Igor, it's $997 a month. It's a monthly fee. It's not a payment plan.
No.
Philip, you do not need tactical arbitrage to use the tool. If you use tactical arbitrage, we've added a lot of things like the list to do, and I didn't even mention this, but I mean, we do it ourselves. Is we take those top 100,000 products and we upload them into the reverse search to find products at retail. So it's not required. If you don't have tactical arbitrage, it's not needed. Obviously, the wholesale part is only a small part of it. We give you the full contact information. When you look at the wholesale, you get the full information. When you look at the product listings, you can look at the extended listings, and you can get the full information for those brands. So, if you don't have tactical arbitrage, then you don't need it. If you're only doing wholesale, you may not need tactical arbitrage. We just already had that data, so we might as well have given it to you so you could use it for TA or OA X-ray, or, there's dozens of tools that compare products to Amazon. It's $997 a year. It's $297 for a month. So after like 5 months, you'd be paying for the price of a whole year. Okay, if the item's already on Amazon, why would I want to sell it? Isn't it a race to the bottom with other sellers? Well, as I said, I'm assuming you're a pretty new seller, Philip, but no, most products have competition, and most sellers are not trying to do a race to the bottom. I always try to think about, where that product may go. And I can look at, look at keep a price charts. That's why we include the keep a price charts in all of the CSVs that we put out. Because if you look at, you can look at historically where that price has gone. So you can see if there's other sellers on it. Having 5 sellers on a product is not the same as having 100 sellers on it. And most products it won't be an issue. I wouldn't think about only bringing new products to the Amazon marketplace. I really have no interest in that because I want products that are already selling well. I want a proven history of selling. I'm not really a fan of private label. I know it works for a lot of people, but I just personally don't like it. I like selling products, and I think most of you do as well if you follow me, because I don't talk about private label. Those products that we sell are products that are already selling well on the Amazon marketplace. People are looking for them, they're searching for them, and that's what I'm going to sell, because people are going to put it. I don't have to bring my own customer there. Amazon's already bringing the customer. Yeah, so William earlier had asked about FBA and the new Supreme Court with state taxes. Nobody knows where that's going to go, if Amazon may be forced to be collecting sales tax for people. Personally, I've been hoping for that for a long time. If nothing else, all it's going to do is make you submit taxes to many different places. And what that's going to do for us is probably just make us use TaxStar a little bit more. But on the other side, Amazon may start collecting all those taxes and filing them for everybody. A couple of states are already requiring them to do that. So, you know, it's nothing that we're going to have to worry about anytime soon. And even if they did, like, even if it was an issue, there's going to be a service out there. I mean, Taxstar already does all of that. You would just have to register in more locations. So Sandra said she has a friend who sent letters to several wholesale companies and hasn't gotten a yes yet. Why is that? So, you know, that could be a lot of issues. It could be how you're framing your email. It could have something to do with, you know, just the kind of companies, you know, if you're trying to contact Lego and Adidas and Nike and companies that just aren't allowing anybody that sell online to be resellers for them, then you may not be getting a response at all. But overall, some companies just, for some reason, just don't respond to you. I don't know why, but you know, there's some people who, you know, if you try hard enough, you can open an account with just about anybody. You know, if it means getting in a plane or driving somewhere and going right there, it's very hard for a manufacturer to say no face to face. You know, and I'm not saying you should do that, but if you need, you know, if you want to open an account hard enough, you're going to go out and find it. But, you know, with a tool like this, you could send 100 or hundreds of them a day, you know, and most of them are going to respond to you. You know, I can't say every company that you try and set up an account with through us is going to respond. Obviously, they're not, but you can open accounts with lots of companies relatively easy. I mean, once you have your template set up, you basically can just cut and paste, you know, an email address and send emails. And it's, you know, I really haven't had a whole lot of hard time. You know, sometimes you just have to be a little bit, you know, stronger with that. Right, it's not $9.97 a month. It's $9.97 a year. It's $2.97 a month. If you go, if I go a month, can I go annual on the next special? So, yeah, Igor, if you want to, or if anybody wants to sign up for a month, then we could probably adjust that into a year for you. If you wanted to do that just as a trial, that's fine. In the brand's contact list, is there a way to tell if Amazon's also a seller in the brand? So there's not a way to, that's a good suggestion, something that we should be able to add. But when you look at the list of all the products, it shows you what, if Amazon's a seller on any of those products. So as we showed you, I think I might still have it open. So as you can see here, this was, this shows you if Amazon's currently a seller and if Amazon's ever been a seller for each one of the products. I hope that that answers your question. I mean, you know, a lot of brands, if we look to see if they were ever been a seller, I mean, most brands, I think Amazon has been a seller on just at, you know, at one time. Igor, we do regular webinars for the Sourcing Secret members, and we have a huge list of videos that we've already done. You can just look in the Sourcing Secret group. In the pin post, there's a an Amazon YouTube playlist of all the Sourcing Secret videos where we go about, you know, going through all the features one section at a time, showing you how to contact companies, all of that. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So sorry about that. So you can go to sourcingsecret.com. I'll just bring it up on here and register. There is a $297 a month plan, as I said, but you know, it's a lot cheaper just to pay by the year. Obviously, we're not going anywhere. We've been, you know, helping you guys out for years, and we're going to be, the price is going to be going up very soon, though. So, you know, I really suggest, you know, the yearly plan. You can, if you want to try it out, I guess it's $297 a month. And you can just sign up right here. Just go to sourcingsecret.com. We'll send you guys out the replay probably in the morning and have all of the links we talked about in there as well. Last question. Why some products don't have a buy box price. So we only show the buy box price. So if it doesn't have a price in there, that means it's a suppressed buy box. Amazon suppresses the buy box on lots of products if they think it's too high or lots of other reasons that we don't know. So if there's a buy box price, we have it in the sheets. But you know, if they don't show a buy box price, we obviously can't show the buy box price. You know, if it doesn't exist. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Actually, I'm going to put one more thing in here. I'm going to put in the chat. If you guys need a, if you guys want to meet privately with me, you can just go to, actually, it's easier just to show you this one. You can just go to book.shawnmayo.com. I'll be available. Oh, they already just posted that for me as well. But you can go to book.shawnmayo.com and you can do a free one-on-one demo if you have other questions you didn't want to put in the chat, something like that. And we can go through whatever you want. I can do some. You know, we can do some searches or look at whatever brands you want, and you know, I'll give you whatever you know, whatever we download. That's no problem. If you guys want to try it out, and that's free. I'll be available till I think noon tomorrow, and then after 8 the day after. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you in the next one.